Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and this is Just Plain Living.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
Howdy.
How are y'all today?
Fine.
We're good.
And you?
I'm just wonderful.
The weather is
Just wonderful.
perfect.
That's why we live here.
I know. It is beautiful
it is.
for the last several days. It's just been
No
ideal.
humidity.
I know.
It
I
was
love
57 degrees this morning. We had the windows open.
Was it that cold?
Yes, it was
57.
wonderful.
Won't be long. It'll
It
go
was
down.
wonderful.
and
Well,
down.
is tomorrow the first day of fall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's
It's fall. What are you going to be for Halloween?
just I'll put on my witch hat.
That's all you need's the hat,
Yeah,
huh?
I need that. I've already got the black. I'm
You
ready.
ready
to
to get a little orange?
I'm always ready for Halloween.
Put a little orange on there.
So Peggy was talking to Chief Blackwell when I came in this morning. And I thought we need to get Chief Blackwell to put handcuffs on her, like he's arresting her, and put that
we
on
could
our
do that.
put that on our webpage. That might draw some attention.
draw
to
some
our
attention.
Facebook
It
page.
might. It might.
Yeah.
Or
He does have handcuffs, don't you, Chief? Yeah, I thought he did.
He could turn around right now and look behind him, and there's a bad man sitting right back there behind him that broke out of jail recently at Travis Bowling.
Yeah.
And he even
Yeah.
and he even did a video on top of the rock on the way up to Swanee with his striped suit on.
I love
Really?
it.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was great.
What's the name of that song, Travis?
You again.
If I See You Again? Yeah.
If I ever get out.
If I ever get out, if I see you again.
Do
You need
think
to
it's
look that up for Travis
think it's
Bowling.
just the glasses, but Travis looks a little bit like Pretty Woman guy with Roy Orbison.
Roy Orbison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
there
think?
you go.
Yeah, he can do that.
Yeah.
Travis is he's a unique individual
With a
and
unique
with
voice
a great
and
voice.
tremendous writing ability.
And now he's making cigar box guitars as well. So we'll talk to Travis about all things good with Travis Bowling here in a
We
little
got
bit.
Sheila Robertson on the show
She
today.
was with Travis today.
No, Vanessa's with Travis.
Vanessa's with Travis. Oh, that's right. There's Sheila over there. I'm
Sheila's by
sorry.
herself.
Sheila's by herself. So, yeah, all kinds of good things going on. And I have a little video. I was fortunate enough. Chip Eston, the deacon from the television show Nashville, was at South Jackson Civic Center Saturday night. And I mean, they packed that place and rocked it down to the foundation.
Great.
It was
I didn't go. I'm sorry.
one
It must have been-
incredible show, and he was very personable. And they started to have a ticket price for a meet and greet. You know, like the tickets were $50, and they were going to have a $75
They should have
ticket
done
for a
that.
meet
That
and
was our
greet.
fault. We should have done that.
For a meet and greet. Well, no, he wanted to meet everybody, and he didn't want that, and so they just set the ticket price what it was, and he stayed there, I think, till almost 12:30, taking pictures with everybody and anybody that wanted to visit with him. And an incredibly nice man, and it's a very good interview that we had, and you get to see into the soul of a guy like that. And he was in one of my favorite movies called The Postman that Kevin Costner did years ago. And I said, how in the world did you get that part? And he said, well, my wife was his personal assistant for 5 years.
That works.
So, you know, it's back down to who you know.
Yeah.
And
Who
Lee
you know.
Gibson helped to bring that in, I believe.
Lee was over
Lee
there, and
did
Betsy and that bunch from over in Winchester who do all things good. But it was a great show. It was a great show.
You know,
and,
judging from the pictures on Facebook, I assume the women kind of like Chip, didn't
But they must, yeah.
there were women of every age there from 80 to 8. And there were very
They're all
few,
standing in line?
very few gentlemen in the audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very few gentlemen.
Right. I bet out of the 430 or however many were there, I doubt there were 30 men there.
That's interesting.
Those women are tore up over this guy. The only guys that were there because their wives. They came with their
Yeah.
wives.
Yeah.
Probably to make sure
That's
the women got home.
That's why you were there.
No, shoot, man,
Oh, he's very talented.
very talented,
Yeah.
good-looking guy, but he's 50 years old. You wouldn't think that, but he
No, you
is
wouldn't.
by looking at him. But
Yeah.
Do you think I think 50's old?
well, I mean, for most of those guys
don't
like
either.
that, it's hard to keep that kind of a deal going in the music business. in the acting business, it doesn't make any difference. If you're a good actor, you find a age-appropriate part. But he doesn't look. He doesn't look 50 years old.
No, he doesn't. Not at all.
But it was a great time, and you know, more things and better things to come at South Jackson Civic Center. We'll keep you posted.
All right.
Sure will.
We surely will.
Sure will. And how'd your Vols do, Jimmy? Our Vols.
They won, didn't they?
Yeah, they won. You asked me the score, I forget.
50-something to
Yeah, it
nothing,
was
or 10,
55 to 10, I think. But yeah, they had a very, very good
Very
afternoon.
This week's the challenge
yeah,
for them.
they're playing
isn't it?
Florida this week, so.
Well, they need to beat Florida.
Yeah, playing at Florida too.
Well, that
so
doesn't make any difference. They need to beat
challenge,
Florida.
You know, but it was just Tennessee played a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
You know, this is Butch Jones's third year, so
Right.
he's been through 2 recruiting classes, I guess. The first year he was there,
Right.
it was pretty much over when recruiting started, but he still did very well. So a lot of
That
bright
sounds
future
good.
there.
Sounds really
bright
good.
future there.
Yeah, they're doing good. Doing good. And Marcus Mariota found out what the professional football was all about this week.
Well,
He
had a
was
rough
sacked. He
first
was
half,
sacked.
you know.
He was sacked 7 times and knocked down 10 times more.
Yeah.
Just not sacked, but he was mauled. I mean, they absolutely beat him up. And so, you need to realize, you know, he had a great first outing, but we were playing the worst team in the NFL. The first game, and we're the second worst. We were the second worst team in the NFL last year. So, when you go on up and start playing somebody who's good.
That's kind of an old story with the
Yeah.
Titans, unfortunately. I mean, their previous quarterback, Jake Locker,
Got beat to death.
They beat him to death, and of course he was a smart young man apparently, because he took his $25 million after that contract was up, and he went home.
Went home,
And
yeah.
did
I don't
something
blame him.
to get a real job.
Get a real job. You know, $25 million can stretch. It could stretch for me for about
Well, it would
2 or
take
3
me,
lifetimes.
yeah. It would certainly take me out.
Absolutely.
Take you out, huh?
Yeah.
In style, too.
Yeah.
In style. That's great. So, hey, I want to remind you. I think this coming weekend, I know I'm going over to Manchester to the MAC over there to the Elvis show, and
Yeah, that's a big. It's
big
been
deal.
going
I don't
great.
even know if they have any tickets left.
Well, they have extended one more show.
So maybe
So
they have tickets.
There would be some tickets. When the last time I looked on Facebook, there was like 3 tickets one night and 2 tickets
Yeah,
in it.
right.
But
Don't they let you in
obviously-
free to these events because of who you are?
No.
No. Okay.
Who
Me
am I?
either.
I know
Me
that
either.
Jake-
Who am I? I'm nobody.
Jacob and,
The only place I'm somebody's right here.
but Jacob and Cindy, aren't they in it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Your
Yeah.
son
Jacob
and-
does some Elvis.
and
Does some of the Elvis
Of course,
stuff.
this is one of Jamie Harden's events, and he really goes all the way.
Well, he
does
wrote
a great
this.
job.
He wrote this, and he went to the Elvis Presley people in Memphis. I don't know who's in control of everything Elvis now, but he went over there and got their approval on the script and
to
everything.
Get the rights to do it.
And have the show he was going to do. And I don't guess he had to do that, because there are no rights, because he's the one that wrote the show. You know, they have
Well,
to pay for the use of the songs.
Right.
Yeah,
But he
they're-
wanted to get their approval
I
on.
think you have to have their approval to do a tribute.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think so.
But so it's a good show. So if you don't have tickets, see if they have any, and
When are you
go
going?
to that. Saturday night.
Saturday. I'm gonna try to
Go
go.
Saturday night.
I better be getting myself a ticket if I'm going.
Probably have to stop by the Jiffy Burger over there,
There
on the
you go.
way.
That's a good place to stop.
See that you want
Are they a
old
sponsor?
time food, real old time food.
I don't know.
Go to the Jiffy Burger. You
Are
order
they-
French fries.
Are
Don't
they a
order.
sponsor?
They are right now. If you order French fries, don't order 2 orders. Get 1, because they bring out a plate of French fries about
Oh,
that
really?
big around.
Wow.
Yeah, like they used to back in the day at Daniels.
Yeah, Daniels. It's
Daniels.
been years. since
Daniels
I've been to
downtown.
Daniels, yeah.
What was that? The Waffle Shop.
I didn't know Daniels. I guess I wasn't
There
here.
was a waffle shop downtown
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the alley there.
Yeah. Dan Daniel and his brothers.
Right.
So yeah, that's good stuff. So enjoy the fall and be safe out there,
It's
because
really a nice time of year. I love this
Yeah.
time of year.
and
Don't you?
Verizon. Oh yeah, Verizon was down for what, 12 hohours yesterday.
Yeah. How
So
did we
everybody was going
survive,
crazy.
reckon?
Just think.
I went out to their place out there to pay my bill, and I thought, well, maybe they could cut, because they didn't have any service, and I usually pay my bill on the 20th, and I thought, well, it was the 21st. because the 20th was Sunday, and I thought, well, certainly they didn't cut me off because the 20th was on Sunday, and I went out there and there's probably 50 people in the parking lot wondering where their cell phone service was.
You know, I just wonder, you think, and it wasn't Verizon's fault, by the way.
No, it was a construction dig.
But do you think you'll get credit for your 12 hours you didn't have any cell service?
Dream
Do
on.
you?
No.
They'll say it wasn't their fault. If you get credit for it, you're going to have to bill either the contractor who cut it or Tennessee One Call if they gave the contractor bad information, and you'll never get that money.
You won't get it back.
Never. Suck up your 12 hours and go on down the road, folks, because that's how it's going to be.
Well, you've
not
already
happening.
been through that now. You lived through 12 hours without a cell phone, and, you know, had we known that in advance, there would have been total panic.
Wouldn't it be interesting to just take a whole entire town and for 1 week cut out all technology? Wonder what would happen. People would stop and say hello, and you would find
Probably be a lot of
different-
suicide.
You think?
I don't know.
You wouldn't be able, the police department would not be able to keep up with the calls that they would get. Can you imagine?
No, but we're not going to have any
They
calls.
wouldn't get any calls.
No calls.
They'd have to get a smoke signal.
Yeah.
They would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Smoke signal.
Domestic violence, though, when people
There
get
would
locked
be-
up with their spouse,
they would be
no
beating each
distractions.
other to
yeah,
death.
yeah.
You know, one of my most enjoyable times and things is when there's a snow and there's a power outage.
And there's a blanket of white.
And
everything's clean.
everything's clean and white, and everybody's in their house, and the lights in the houses are different because they're using either oil lamps or candles. So it's sort of a yellowish type light instead of the white light that incandescent bulbs give. And it just looks like you're in a Currier and Ives print.
And it's
you know?
it's a moment of silence.
Yeah.
And meditation.
And it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Somebody said, what are you going to do if it takes 4 days for your phone to come back on? And I said, be like a vacation for me. You know, how wonderful would that be for no phone to ring, huh? All right, we got the big X out there, so what that means is we're going to take a quick commercial break. Pay attention to our sponsors and do us a favor, go in and see them, because without them, we wouldn't be here. We'll be back with more Just Plain Living in a minute.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us for this segment Paul Blackwell, the Tullahoma Police Chief. This is, by the way, called Police Pointers, and we're going to get some valuable information here this morning. I'm quite sure that was a new picture, wasn't it? Or was
No,
that
that's
was
an old
not a
picture.
picture. You have a new picture.
Got some new pictures.
I've actually seen it, and you look quite distinguished in it, Paul.
Well, thank you very much.
I
Thank you.
might add, you know. And I think probably some of these old pictures, Paul is not quite the size he was then. I mean, that was 50 or 60 pounds ago, probably.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you survive yesterday without your cell phone?
I did. Yeah, unfortunately, we all have to get used to the cell phones, but I try not to use mine a lot. I use it a lot to keep up with the news, not necessarily communicate with each other, but I did notice, because some of our technology we use in our cars is cell phone based. So that had an impact on us, which makes me sit back and think, okay, what if we had a prolonged cell phone outage? How would this impact our operation? Of course, we go back to the old way of doing it, where you have to do it over the radio, you have to write things down as opposed to it being on the computer for you. And so it does impact us.
I didn't realize that. So now when they dispatch an officer somewhere, he doesn't have to necessarily write that down.
We
right?
still do it over the radio voice, but we have the computers in the car and the officers input the data themselves.
I see.
And I'm hoping by this time next year that the software will be in place where they don't have to do that. That when the dispatcher types it into their computer up at the communication center, it'll automatically get sent to our computer. So there won't be the need for writing it down on a piece of paper or stopping on the side of the road and entering it in the computer. It'll be done for you. And that's going to streamline a lot of our operations and eliminate a lot of our radio traffic.
I see.
What you get now a lot of times, and it's not a new phenomenon, it's always been that way, but officers will ask the communication center to repeat the address, repeat the description of the car, repeat the suspect description. And again, hopefully by this time next year, all of that will go straight to their computer, so all they have to do is look at their computer. And it's going to eliminate a lot of the wasteful traffic, radio traffic.
Don't let me get us carried too far away from your subject matter today.
Well, that's what makes it so interesting, is that we sometimes do swerve.
A couple of quick questions. Do officers spend a lot of time writing reports and doing paperwork kind of thing, or has that decreased over the years?
It's probably increased. The old days, a report may be 1 page. Now things have evolved so much, the requirements from the FBI and the TBI have gotten so complex that a 1-page report 15 years ago may now be a 6-page report. So we do it all through the computer, and of course you can still make errors, but it does take a little bit longer to do a report because the way our record management system and the requirements of the FBI and the TBI, say you and I are involved in an incident, before all I'd have to say is, Jim and Paul. Now it's, well, what is the relationship between Jim and Paul? Okay, there's no relationship. Okay, so there's no relationship. Then it'll ask you a different question. So all of this is in order to feed the computer for statistical purposes up at the FBI.
Okay.
So that simple 1-page report of I came, I saw, I went, I did, is now I came, how did I get there? I did, well, what did you do? Who'd you do it with? Who'd you do it to? Just a whole bunch of different questions. So it takes more time to document it, and you have to be more specific when you document, because there is a checks and balance that once we enter it into the computer, we have to get it verified, and we may get all kinds of errors because, say, relationships, or if we're saying Jackson Street, when we put it in the computer, it's got to be Jackson spelled out and then the abbreviation ST. If you spell out street, it's going to kick it back as an error.
Oh my goodness!
If you put a dash in the wrong place, it's going to kick it back as a. So it takes a lot of massaging to make sure that report is going to pass the review process.
When there's an incident involving multiple officers, does each officer have to write?
Everybody's got to write what they did, because that could come to a court when they start going through it, and everybody's going to have to testify as to what they did, and so there's got to be a paper trail or documentation what you did. If it was nothing more than I showed up and I stood guard at the front door, if that's all you did, then that's what you write.
When officers refer to the communication center and say, "Start me a CAD," what is a CAD, and what is
the
that
CAD mean? Is the computer-aided dispatch.
I see.
In other fields, CAD may be computer-aided drawing, like for architects or engineers. but for us it is our record system at the communication center. Every time we get a call, we get a number, and that's what the CAD is, computer-aided dispatch. What was that dispatch number, so that we can refer back to it years from now and get a printout of what occurred, what was said, what are the important things about the call.
Oh, okay.
So what they're basically doing is telling the dispatcher, start me a log.
I see.
That, we're going to do something.
Let's move on to what you came today to talk about.
That's perfectly fine. And that's good information. We've got a busy weekend coming up, and I know that we've got a Kiwanis representative here, so I don't want to steal their thunder, but it is the 41A Music Festival. There's going to be a lot of congestion downtown, a lot of activities. So anyone that's traveling in that area, the Atlantic Street, Grundy, Lincoln, be aware that there's going to be a lot of congestion. There's going to be some traffic changes, and I'm sure that Kiwanis will talk about some of that. But the other thing is, for some reason, we're seeing our accidents starting to increase. We'd done very well for about 3 or 4 years and saw a constant decrease in accidents. And now they're starting to creep up again. And like we were talking yesterday with the cell phones out, which I don't think had anything to do with it, but we probably had 3 or 4 accidents yesterday, whereas on any given day we may have a couple accidents. And these accidents are preventable if people will just take their time, slow down a little bit, and think about safe driving techniques. And the one I always use is when you're at a red light and it turns yellow, don't try to get through the light, try to stop. We have those intersection wrecks. You're at a stop sign, make sure you make eye contact with somebody. We're having stop sign accidents where if people would just look at the other person, and there's no shame in waiting.
Sure.
There's no shame in giving them the right of way.
Because it's probably not going to be but a few seconds anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a split second. It's just long enough for the other person to clear the intersection. And one that we always have that occurs in the North Jackson area, up around the hospital and some of those businesses up there, because you get so close to that major intersection, traffic can back up. And people wanting to make a left turn, either, across traffic, someone will leave them a little opening. And what do? They wave them through. And that car comes through. That is an accident waiting to happen. When someone waves you through, don't do it. Sit there unless you can see what's coming. But 99% of the time you can't see. You're relying on that person that waves you through, and you get T-boned.
That scenario has been repeated
and what do you think happened?
Probably.
You try to tell the officer that, and where's that person that waved you through?
They're gone.
They're gone. I mean, because really that person that waves you through could be held to, obviously from an insurance standpoint, accountable.
Right.
So, don't do it. I mean, I'll sit there. I refuse to turn when someone waves me through if I can't see it. And and the first thing out of their mouth when the officer rides up is, well, they told me to come across.
Exactly.
Well, who told you? Well, that car, they're gone. So please, just drive defensively, slow down. We talked about that earlier. Everybody's in a hurry.
Right.
Just slow down. Our traffic regulations are designed to make our roadways safe for the orderly movement of traffic. And people just need to slow down and do their part to be defensive.
Yeah, because believe it or not, folks, you could get seriously hurt right here in your own hometown.
Yeah, and I know we're running out of time, but any given point when you're driving a car, you are probably 3 feet away from a serious injury.
Yeah.
Because think about when you're passing a car, there's not but a few feet of distance between, and all it takes is one little distraction to change the direction of your car, and you're in a head-on accident.
Right.
So drive with that in mind, that am I watching that driver? Is that other driver occupied with something else? If so, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to move over a little bit.
Okay.
And just be careful.
All right, and we didn't cover all the subject matter we intended to, because this texting thing that we were talking about earlier, we could do a whole segment on that, and so that's always something open for later.
We still got to keep lobbying for more time here.
Exactly.
We got to find out who's in charge.
I think it's Julia. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Paul, thank you so much for coming by today. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more Living right after this.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
I'm so glad I hung around to have Sheila Robertson on today. Hey, Sheila.
Hey.
This is Sheila Lawson Robertson.
That's right.
Been a long time since you've been lost.
It's been a long time.
There's some good things happening that you are in charge of, and you've got this event coming up at, what's the name of the church?
It's at New Creation Church, but it's not really a church event.
Okay. What is it?
It is a full 2-act play, and it's comedy. It's just good, clean family entertainment. And the title is Every Little Crook and Nanny.
I love that. Who wrote that, Little Crook and Nanny?
Pat Cook.
Pat Cook. And I know that you all have done some other plays by him, is that correct?
Yes, this is our 7th play by Pat Cook.
So obviously you like his work.
Yeah, I do.
And this play makes you laugh?
And this play makes me roll.
I think the world is in real need of laughter, so this is great. And this is October 9th, is that right?
Yes, the dinner theater is October the 9th. We provide a full dinner, catered dinner, and
what's the price?
The price is $15 for the dinner and the play.
To see a play and a full catered dinner?
You can't get a burger and go to the movie for that.
That's awesome. So let's tell people how to get a ticket.
Well, they can call me, and you have to have reservations for Friday night or Saturday night. Saturday night's just a dessert theater, and it's $10 for a really nice dessert and drink and the play. So they can call me at 581-4980.
And if you're out of this area, that's 931-581-4980. It'd be nice if we could get that up, so you can write that down. Or I guess could you go by the church and pick up a ticket?
You could, but there's not anybody there during the day all the time.
So it's better to call.
It is. We only have 75 tickets available for the dinner theater and the dessert theater because we have limited seating because the stage is so large.
Do you want to tell us what's on the dinner?
Well, it will be a salad. It'll be a nice... usually a chicken with a specialty sauce and a couple of vegetables and
does that include bread and dessert?
And dessert.
Something to drink,
really
like
nice
coffee or water?
Coffee or tea or water.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, and it's catered by a lady out of Nashville. And
it starts at 7 o'clock?
The play starts at 7. Dinner opens, the doors open for dinner at 6.
6 o'clock.
And on Saturday night, the dessert starts at 6:30. And the play starts at 7.
Starts at 7. And then you have this Sunday afternoon performance.
Yes, we have a matinee on Sunday.
And that's $5, and you don't get to eat and stuff, but you get to have a good laugh, and that's what's important. Yeah. How many people are in this?
9.
9. Well, whatever.
9, yes, 9.
And you mentioned a young boy that is real talented.
Charlie Pettyjohn from Franklin County.
Yeah.
He actually does go to our church, and he is extremely talented young boy. I wouldn't be surprised to see him be the next Jim Carrey or something. He is hilarious.
That funny, huh?
He's that funny. He's
That's
good
wonderful.
too. We also are going to add a Monday night performance because it just seems like so much work for just 3 performances.
And so Monday night, will that be $5 again?
It'll be $5 again. The doors open at 6:30.
So
no, the doors open 6 and the play's at 6:30 Monday night.
On Monday night, but everything else is. And there's the number to call to get your
Great.
reservation, because you can only do 75 people on Friday night, right?
And Saturday.
And Saturday, 75 tickets. But on Sunday, I guess you can do more.
Well, 125 probably.
So you
and
can
Monday.
come and get the ticket at the door.
Correct.
But to dinner, you can't get the ticket at the door, I wouldn't think.
No, you can't,
You've
because
gotta
we
have a
usually
reservation.
sell out.
Do you have a cutoff for the
Probably
reservation?
Monday the 5th would be the cutoff for the reservations for Friday night and Saturday night. And this is actually in our church fellowship hall. Like we said, it's just not a church event, and it's on Bel Air Drive, right across from Bel Air Elementary School.
Oh, well, that's easy to find.
Very easy.
There's another church there close by, I think, maybe? Maybe not.
No, there's churches on West Lincoln and on Cedar Lane, but we're
anyway,
directly across from the school.
You just go right across from the school. And it's a regular church building?
Yes, it's a regular church building, but we're in the fellowship hall. It's a huge building, and the church lets us use it. Like I said, it's not really a church event. We have people outside our church that are in our drama team, and our drama team is called Cracked Pots.
That figures. Cracked Pots. What a great name.
Well,
How long have y'all been in business?
Oh, we've been, I guess, 8 years. 7 or 8 years we've been.
Did you start it?
Yeah.
It sounds like something you would do.
Well, that's why the name, Cracked Pots.
What else? I know that Sheila's a writer, too. And I've just asked, do you ever put on any play that you wrote? But these are books.
These are
so
books.
Let's talk a little bit about your books.
Okay. Well, I have a series,
I love
Fairhaven
that little
Forest series.
Aren't they sweet? Those little cats, they're the cutest things.
And they are my cats.
And you still have these cats?
Yeah, these are my cats. Forever my cats.
Forever your cats.
Fuzz and Spats. And the 2nd and 3rd book just recently came out. Each book teaches a moral lesson.
Oh, okay.
This moral lesson is obedience and listening.
That's a good one.
And there's questions at the end to help teach the lesson. And each book
people aren't listening now.
No.
So that's good.
Each book has a free audio book also.
Oh, wonderful.
The 2nd book is called Monster, and its lesson is on fear and runaway imaginations.
Oh, sweet.
Which is a real problem with children
Yeah.
sometimes. The 3rd book is Sugar Baby.
Sugar Baby.
Yes.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they actually find a
Fairhaven
little
Forest.
kitten in the woods, and they bring it home to try to turn it into their baby sister. And they realize there's a lot of responsibility when a new baby comes into the house.
Oh, that's
so it
cute.
teaches responsibility.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of other stuff that goes with it. I have an activity book, a coloring book. I also have a game called a puzzle game
And
that
where
is
can
hard.
you get all this?
The puzzle game and the activity book you can only get from me, but the actual books you can get them at Hastings, or you can order them online at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
And like if they forget the names of these, they just should they type in Sheila Robertson?
They can type in Sheila Robertson, Google it, and it'll come up.
And the books will come up. And I know you're going to start a new series, and that excited me because it's kind of hitting the tweens.
It is. It's a juvenile chapter book series for like 8 to 12, 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
And these are the character designs. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there we go. The cover design is not here yet.
Okay.
But the characters in this book
Who's doing the cover design? Do you have somebody that does?
No, it's the publishing company provides it.
Oh, okay.
This book is called Junebug and Cat, and it's about my mama and daddy as children. They're 10-year-old in the book.
Sweet.
It's set in the 40s, so there's a lot of interesting things going on in the 40s in country life. Also, they get into all sorts of mysteries, Nancy Drew, Hardy Boy type mysteries. So I'm real excited about this.
Do you have any idea when it's coming out?
Hopefully mid-November, but
Wonderful.
before Christmas at least.
All right, let's don't forget before we have to cut off every little crook and nanny. And that sounds like it's going to be such fun. And it's a dinner theater Friday, October 9th at 6 o'clock. Catered meal, $15, and the play. And then Saturday night, $10, and dessert, and Sunday matinee, $5.
And Monday night matinee.
And Monday night matinee, $5. And it's at 1115 Bel Air Drive, Tullahoma, at the church.
New Creation Church.
New Creation Sheila, they're going to run me off. Any
That's
last
okay.
word?
Call me for tickets,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having
Love
me.
it when you're here. We'll
You're
be
so
back
much
with,
fun.
who knows?
Hi, my name is Philip Moody, and I'm a minister at King's Cross Church, and we have a fundraiser going on for our Hands and Feet ministry. That's our home repair ministry, and we have these children's costumes just in time for October 31st. They're $5 each, and if you're interested in purchasing a costume which would help our ministry, we would appreciate you considering doing that. These children are sweet friends of ours from King's Cross, and they are modeling these costumes and all that comes with these costumes and the drama that comes with them as well. So we hope you'll be a part of this great fundraiser for Hands and Feet, our home repair ministry. And we must say thank you to Dan and Fran Markham. They are the ones who gave us these costumes, and many other items we'll be selling at another time. We hope you'll be a part of this community-wide effort as we help people stay in their homes and repair their homes. Thank you very much. And they have something that they would like to say. Do y'all want to say we're superheroes? 1, 2, 3.
We're superheroes!
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray with Channel 6 TV, and I'm here at South Jackson Civic Center today. Very, very excited, as our whole town is, because Deacon is here in the body of the real guy, the real entertainer, Mr. Chip Eston. And Chip, welcome to Tullahoma.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I guess my first question is, how in the world did a young man from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, end up in Tullahoma, Tennessee?
It's a long and crazy story, longer than you got time for today. But I will say that when I'm in Nashville and I'm playing this character where I get to play music and I get to act with these fantastic people and these amazing scenes, and I get to go on the road and play events like this that I'm at tonight, which I'm so happy to be at, it always feels to me like so many of the things I had no idea in my past that were meaningful and were going to come together did. I often feel like I had little scraps of cardboard in my pocket that were colored, and I didn't even know what they were, till one day I put them all down on a table and I realized this goes with this, and it made this like puzzle painting that is the role of Nashville, Deacon Claiborne on Nashville. I don't know like why I started learning guitar or when I started songwriting or what it was, the different roles I got that helped me out with this one now. But I have to say that by the time I did end up getting this job, so much of it felt meant to be, and like there'd always been an arrow pointing to it. When I ended up in Tennessee, when I first moved to Nashville, it felt like coming home to a place I'd never been to.
Right, right. So how long have you been playing guitar and writing?
Well, I guess I started playing guitar at junior high school. I started earlier than that. My family still gives me a hard time because I quit because it hurt my fingers.
Right.
But I think that more had to do with the guitar I was playing on and my uncle's old big neck hard string. If your kids are playing guitar, get them a good little guitar with soft strings. That'll be good. But anyway, I went back to guitar. Once I realized it was a good way to impress a young lady, then I was all in. And so I learned to play and slowly write. And by the time I was in college, I was in a band, and that's where I got my real musical education.
All right, and I noticed in your bio something that was exciting to me is one of my favorite movies is The Postman with Kevin Costner, and I saw that you were in that movie.
Yes, sir.
How did you secure the role in that movie? You were opposite a female lead, or one of the main characters?
To be honest, the best way I secured that role is I had a wife who was Kevin Costner's assistant. Sometimes it is who you know.
It's who you know.
And Kevin could not have been kinder to my wife for the almost 5 years she was his assistant, and he could not have been kinder to our family, and me included. So I was in more than one Kevin Costner movie. That's definitely one of my favorites. I got to play Michael. My character was killed about 3/4 of the way through the film by the baddie in that movie. It's a great movie. I agree with you. It's one of my faves. So it was just a thrill and an honor to be in it, and to get to hang out with him and learn so much from him.
Well, as you said earlier, the tableau that someone goes through to end up where you end up is all about persistence and believing in your dream and staying true to yourself long enough. My dad told me one time, I asked him what the most important thing in life was, and he said it's very simple, it's timing. And if you work hard and secure your talents and hone your craft when the time hits, of course you have to have talent and you have to be ready to go. But your timing has been pretty good throughout your career?
Well, it's funny. I think a lot of it is your attitude. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of guy? I could write a acting biography that had the Broadway show I got fired from, or the big movies that I came this close on and didn't get. You can always look at it from the things that didn't happen, but so many of those were doors that were closed that led to another door that was open.
Sure.
And so in retrospect, you wouldn't change anything at all, because it all led to where I am right now, and every little bit of it makes you who you are, makes you a little tougher, makes you a little stronger. For me, it's always been about more than timing. It's been persistence, because that timing doesn't always happen on your timing. It can happen later than you want it. So can you make it long enough? Can you stay in the game? Can you keep your head and your heart in the game long enough until you happen to be at that one place you're meant to be?
Right. And your creative side, how do you fuel that? I write myself, and I've been writing for 50 years. And where do you get your sparks? When does the muse show? What's the muse that shows up for you?
Well, that's the thing I love about Nashville is for years I wrote when the muse struck. When I had an idea, that's when I would stop and sit down and write. With Nashville, I've learned that I forget what great writer it says. I write whenever the muse strikes, and the muse strikes every morning at 9 a.m.
There you go.
They get to work. They go to these publishing houses, and they sit down and they write a song. There's craft to it as well. It's not just, sometimes you just hear that great song in the ether and you write it down.
Right.
Other times you sit there and you bang and you sharpen and hone and erase and edit and start over. And so, but I love that. It's almost like farming. You plant that, you're planting seeds and you're watering it, and maybe you'll get a good crop, or maybe you won't. But what I've found out is that, crop or no, I love the farming. I love the very act of writing.
Right.
So hopefully you get success, but even if you don't, it's where you're meant to be nonetheless.
Well, and that's what I've always thought, is it's the passion. I had a young man ask me one time to help him. He wanted to be a movie writer, and I said, why? And he said, I want to be successful. And I said, well, you've made the first mistake. You write for passion, not for success.
Although the funny thing is that you can come to that. It took me long enough to come to that. When I started out as a young kid, I just wanted to be famous, because you don't know about the other stuff, and you also don't really know what fame is. You don't know the ups and the downs of it. The closer I ever got to any measure of fame, I was taught by great people like Kevin himself, or my buddy Drew Carey, who I got to work with. You see the ups and the downs of fame, and you see it's sort of illusory and not as real as you think it is. And then what you're really drawn to is the craft and the art and moving people. That's what you want. Right. Fame gives you the ability to pick better projects and to get around people that can help you with your craft, whether it's acting or writing or singing. So it has its good parts, yeah, but it's not the focus anymore. It becomes a more internal thing than an external thing.
Well, Nashville, the show Nashville, real quick. I mean, what a great thing to be involved in, and particularly at the level you are. How do you think, is that show doing well? Do you think that show will continue on?
That's the funny thing is I hope so, and I'm always surprised by the depth of passion that we have so many fans, but it's the part that I don't think about. Because when I'm on the show, when I'm doing it, I just try to be in the moment.
Right.
And I really want to get every moment out of this, because no matter how popular, at some point it will be done. And when you're looking back at it, you want to say that I got every single second out of it, and I really gave my best to every moment on screen, and rehearsal off screen, or concert during. So it's funny how little I actually focus on that. But that goes back to what we were talking about. It's about doing it. It's not about how big it is or how famous you'll get doing it. Do I hope to get to do it for a while? You have no idea. This is the greatest job I've ever had, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're getting ready to take a stage that we're very proud of here in Tullahoma, the South Jackson Civic Center stage. And I wrote something a couple of years ago called Where the Sky's Big Enough for All the Stars. And it was after Jimmy Dickens died, and it was about that stage and the small stages all around the country where all the little people get to come and be on that stage, and you can see some of them. There was a little girl in our country show last year, and her mama came up to her and she ran to the front of the stage and she said, "I was born to be up here." Those stages that you're getting ready to go on, and people will fill this auditorium to see you on that stage, is where all of this is born, the small stages. And we want to thank you so much for being here tonight and gracing our small stage with your presence. And I know why you're famous, and I know why you're a star after this interview, because you're real. You're a very real individual.
That's very cool.
And a lot of the folks who get involved in that industry get to where they're not real. I've met a bunch of them, but you're a very real individual, and your success will be long-lasting.
That's very, very kind. It is an honor to be here. I walked out on that stage already for a sound check, and you talk about real. Yeah, you get the sense of it. You can feel the atmosphere and the ambience in there, and the people too. So.
And pretty good acoustics.
Oh, very good acoustics. That was beautiful. Yeah. So we all looked at each other. We said, "This is going to be fun." So now all we have left to do is to do it. Yeah.
Right, folks. You think this is Deacon, but after this interview, I know exactly who it is. This is Chip Eston.
Hey, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us, sir.
My pleasure.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm half a head taller than I was a minute ago. Look at there. Oh, dadgummit, I liked being tall. I liked being tall. I'm here with one bad man, Mr. Travis Boland. And Travis, introduce your guest here.
I've got the wonderful, soulful, and sensual Miss Vanessa Hill with me today.
And she, if you're a bad man,
she's a bad woman.
She's a bad woman. Because let me tell you what, this gal right here can sing.
She can sing.
Like you cannot believe. And your soulful doesn't even come close.
Yeah.
She's more than that. She's more than that. But what y'all are here about today is you're here about a music festival that's being held on the mountain?
Yep, at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse. I'm sure
Imagine that.
Y'all see the commercials running. But Vanessa, go ahead and start them out. Tell them a little bit of history of the color of music, as you can see on my
If you
shirt.
look here at Travis' shirt, this is our t-shirts. We are selling t-shirts. We're having a fall festival on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all day at the Smokehouse on the mountain. The Color of Music is a 2004 program that I started with Warner Brothers Records. And we did this to try to get our kids off the streets. I had done several programs with the Country Music Foundation, put together several youth programs, and so while on Warner Brothers Records, I put together the Color of Music. And I had to stop for a while because my mom got ill, and I cared for her. But now we've got the program back up and running, and the purpose of the program is
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to give the kids instruments and art supplies instead of weapons. You know,
Congratulations.
Yeah, learn something, some more fundamentals. You know, something to keep them out of trouble. So what we're doing is we're going to have a 3-day festival. Basically, we're creating awareness and we're raising money to get instruments. And the kids that come to the festival and show interest in the program, we're going to provide them with an instrument, you know, if they learn how to play it, and they give back in the community with their music.
Right.
So 3 days, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up at the Smokehouse, Jim Oliver Smokehouse on Mont Eagle, and it's $25 for 3 days or $10 a day. Kids under 18 are free. And it's about 100 acts, and we have hit songwriters, people who are, you know, signed with Sony right now, a bunch of up-and-coming artists, my band, Vanessa, and we'll also have some booths with some vendors. We're going to have a guy who's an excellent guitar instructor. He's going to be there. I'm going to have a booth making my cigar box guitars there.
Yeah, and if you hadn't seen that, Travis is making guitars out of cigar boxes.
I'm always getting into something, John. You know that.
Where can they see those online?
You can actually just go to my my music page, my Facebook music page for my music, and you'll see a lot of the instruments. We usually. I got into it just, you know, kind of more peace of mind, make one for myself, but as I started playing mine out at the show, I started bringing an extra one and it would sell. So, you know, we've made a couple for the kids that I'm going to give to a couple kids. I also built one and donated it to the Color Music to be given away in a silent auction.
Very good.
So, yeah.
And so what are the times? What are the times on this?
We're from, what is it, Friday?
Friday, it starts in that evening. Yeah, it starts about 6 o'clock. It'll go to 11 because we're going to have bonfires and other like networking and bonding things.
Yeah, what a great place to do that too.
And then Saturday and Sunday it starts bright and early, about 10:30, and it'll go to 11.
You can tell he's a music man and an artist, bright and early, about 10 or 10:30.
Hey, I go to bed at 5. I took a nap. I took a nap to get here.
Actually, I want to let you guys know the purpose, the mission. We have a serious mission.
Okay,
and it is to save the music and save our youth.
Very much.
And I have done this program about 4 times in the past, whereas we did one with Mars Music called Drop the Guns, Pick Up the Drums, or some other instrument. But because a lot of small town and rural area schools have taken music education out of the schools.
Right.
So we are also advocates to try and get these programs back into our schools. Right. It is very important that we keep our children involved, and like Travis said, to keep them off the streets.
I mean, if I'd had music when I was a kid, I'd probably be a way bigger menace to society than I already am. So I'm thankful for it.
The music has only helped you just,
it kept me out of trouble, but then it gave me a different kind of attitude, I guess, as I got older.
You just broke out of jail recently, didn't you?
You'll have to check that out online for yourself. I can't confirm or deny. You'll be able to find more information, one about the festival at thecolormusic.org and vhillmusic.com and travisboland.com.
There you go.
So.
And what's the name of that song where you break out of jail? I need to find that video.
See You Again. Yeah, we did a whole music video with a plot or a whole storyboard, because you know all music videos are like one guy singing in like a room, 5 different rooms, and they clip together. I was like, we got to make a whole plot. So yeah.
Yeah. You even got to hit a cop, didn't you? Sheriff?
Yeah, well, he was a drummer. You know, he's about this much shorter than me, so it's cool. I was a big old comic. We got real lucky with that singer. I mean, it debuted at #5 on iTunes Blues and #3 on Rock Blues Radio, and it's been in top 10 for weeks.
All right, that's Travis and Vanessa, and be sure to go to the mountain this weekend.
Thecolormusic.org. You can get the tickets. You can sign up for the songwriting contest. All the info's there. Check it out. We'd love to see you up there.
All right. Folks, we'll be right back after this message.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse. You need a claim number? her personal assistant. Let me just grab her housekeeper, her cook, her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Welcome back. I have the cutest girl on this show today. Alicia Bell, is that correct?
Yes.
Alicia's filling some really big shoes for United Way. Sandy Hayes resigned this year, and you're stepping in as the new director.
Correct. Yes, I'm the executive director of the United Way for Coffee and Moore counties.
Do you love it?
I do love it. I've loved it so far. I've only been here not even 2 months yet and have really enjoyed it.
And so what are some, let's talk about what the United Way is, what it does, and all that.
Sure. So the United Way model can be a little bit confusing sometimes because we are an organization that goes out. We're a nonprofit, and we go and raise funds for other nonprofits in our community. But we do this in order to be able to distribute funds in a very strategic way.
Is there any particular criteria for the people you give the funds to?
Yes, yes, there is.
Can you name any of those?
Yes, so we have an allocation committee that meets in order to make these annual allocations. And they take this process very seriously. We have, just for example, this year we funded 11 nonprofit organizations.
That's wonderful.
It's very exciting. And in order to become one of our agencies and receive funds from us, you have to submit an application. It includes a document that has a lot of your financial information, your programs.
Maybe your mission.
Your mission, yes. And then we get together and we talk about those applications, and then we even go a step further and do individual meetings with these organizations
so you can
to really talk to
determine
them.
who you think needs it the most, or where the most benefit for the most people.
And we really hope to be a mechanism that holds these nonprofits accountable while also walking alongside of them and providing for their other needs, maybe not just financial needs, but be able to partner people in our community, businesses and donors that we know, with organizations
that would
could work together.
Each other.
Yes,
it's a wonderful plan. And have you done this before?
I have not worked for United Way before, actually. I did work for a United Way agency that received funds from a United Way in the past, but I've never been with United Way, but I'm very glad to be here.
Well, it's a big challenge. And are you in the office every day, or do you wander around?
I'm not in the office every day. I'm at least in the office probably once a day to touch base, and but I'm very mobile. I try to be out in the community as much as possible, meeting folks and meeting businesses and explaining who we are. So.
And are you always looking for money?
Yes, we are. We're always looking for supporters.
Like, say there's somebody out there that wants to support you. What do they need to do?
Well, they can call me at 931-455-5678. Not too hard of a number to remember. You can email me at cmcunitedway@gmail.com. And you can ask around and say, where's Alicia at? And I'd love to come and talk with you and set you up to become a supporter for to the United Way, or if you have a particular cause on your heart, I can even direct your funds and your efforts there.
And what did you say the counties were that you all helped to aid?
So yes, we're the United Way of Coffee and Moore counties.
Just those two counties?
Yes, but there are United Ways in most counties in Tennessee, and I can put you in touch with your United Way director.
And so if someone is interested in possibly getting funds from you, they would call you and they'd submit the paperwork, and
yes, we're actually
review it.
Open. Our next allocation season begins in January, I believe. So we'll be looking for applications at the beginning of the year.
Do you find that more people want to get funds than you all can actually help?
Absolutely.
You have way too many. I mean, probably. That's because it seems to be a lot of people out there
Yes.
needing money and wanting more support.
Well, there's a very warm community here in Coffee and Moore County, and there's a lot of giving people, and there are a lot of needs in this county that
Well, I know
go
the
overlooked.
United Way has helped South Jackson Civic Center because I have, you know, some connections there, and we really, truly appreciate it.
Well, we're
Because there's
glad
a
to.
lot of people involved in that organization, so I feel like whatever help we can get, it's great.
Absolutely. We love their programming, their educational programs for children as well, is something
That's
that we
important.
get very excited about.
It's,
so.
there's a lot of good things in this community. We have an art center, we have a science center, and there's a lot of good things that need help,
Right.
obviously.
Right, exactly.
So you came here and moved to Tullahoma because your husband is at the base.
Yes.
Do you love this little town?
I do. I've fallen quickly in love with Tullahoma. It's a wonderful community, as I mentioned before. He's from a small town, and I'm from what used to be a small town. I'm from Franklin, Tennessee, and so we're just thrilled to be here. And
Well, we're thrilled to have you.
Great.
You're making this town look good.
Good. Glad I can help.
Is there any particular thing about, like, how long has United Way been in existence? Do you know?
Well, United Way Worldwide, the national office, has been in existence for 125 years. It actually started in Denver.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yes, it's a very, very old agency organization, I should say. So they've really kind of perfected their model, and we're one of the most efficient and strategic ways to raise money and to distribute money.
So it's a nationwide thing.
Yes, it's actually recently a worldwide.
Oh, is it worldwide?
thing? But it's important to say that the money that we raise, when you give to your county United Way, it stays
to
here.
To Coffee County and Moore County.
Exactly.
They're the ones that benefit from the funds.
Exactly. It doesn't go all over the world.
Well, Alicia Bell, what a treat it is to meet you, and what a beautiful person to have in our community. And
Thank you.
Sandy Hayes, I know, appreciates. She worked so hard. It's
She
great
did.
having
I've got
you.
great shoes to fill.
You do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more things.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and this is the weekend for the 41A Festival, and I have Chambliss and Joe up here with us to bring us home. I mean, that's right, guys. You've been promoting this, and now it's time to bring it home.
We've been promoting it probably since Saturday evening of last year. It really does. We're part of the Highland Rim Kiwanis Club. That's how we're involved, and what we do as an organization is give back to children. And so 100% of our proceeds do go back to charitable organizations in town that benefit children in one way or the other. And so we don't want people to forget the reason we're actually doing this, but we do get to have a lot of fun in that process. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean bring all kinds of just incredibly good music to town, and it's a great event. It's good for the city.
It is,
and it raises, like you say, a bunch of good money. Who we have on the bill this year?
Well, there's a lot of people. The gates open Friday, this coming Friday evening at 5 o'clock. Music will start at 6. Bad Monkey, which is a local band, will be playing at 6 o'clock. The Pop Rocks, which are back again, will be at 7:30. And then Resurrection, which is a Journey tribute band, which has played in the area, I think, in the past year, will finish the night at 9:15, and it'll run till, 10:30 or 11 or something like that. And then the big night is obviously Saturday night. That's when we bring our headliner in, which is Big Smo this year. It's a little unorthodox for us to bring someone like that in because it's a very specific type of music, but he has such a following and such a buzz about him that we thought it was a great idea to do that.
Yeah, I think that I'm really excited to see the festival grow up towards the Shelbyville area and get some attention from the folks up there. Everybody in and around the Tullahoma area knows about it. It's almost like a heritage thing now. This is the 6th year for it. So people in Tullahoma and in Coffee County know, but now we want to kind of spread the word, and so I'm really excited about having Big Smo, who is from that War Trace Shelbyville area, bring some of those folks down and bring some more money back into the community.
That's right.
I guess Smo will have a merchandise table, won't he? Will he be having meat mud?
I'll pretty much guarantee he'll sell out of meat mud. I was telling you earlier, I ate at the Bell Buckle Cafe this past Sunday, and his country store was just slammed with people. Yeah. He sells all kinds of stuff. So we're excited to have him in. Speaking of his store in Bell Buckle, I'm going to mention the poker run that we're going to have for the 2nd year this year. Registration will be at 9 a.m. for the poker run. Kickstands up at 10:30 that day, and so we'll have different stops. If you want to see those stops, or if you want to register, feel free to go to our Facebook page, and you can see all the details about that.
So that's on Saturday?
Yes, that's correct.
That'll be on Saturday. So
Saturday morning. And one of the stops for that poker run is his country store. So if you wanted to see it, drive out to Bell Buckle and check that place out.
Yeah, and it covers the entire area. They go up to Manchester, they'll go over to Lynchburg, so it's going to be a really great event again to continue and spread the word about not only the poker run, but about the 41
Come to the festival.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right.
You want to see Big Smo?
You do.
He's there. He's at the festival Saturday night.
That's
Come on with me. Get on your bike.
Jump up on stage with him.
Get on your bike and come on.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, that's great. It's like you're having a traveling advertisement for the festival going around.
It was a big success last year.
On Saturday.
It was a big success. I think it raised $3,000 or somewhere in that area to give back. So it was a nice addition to our festival there. And we couldn't do this whole festival without our sponsors. We have a lot of local sponsors. We do want to at least mention the top 3, which are the Duck Radio 93.9, which Joe works for here, and both of our local beer distributors, LNH and Mid-South, are both all large sponsors for us. And so they really help us pull this event off and advertise the event like we hadn't been able to do in the past.
That's great. And I know that there's been a lot of construction going on downtown, and I think they're going to have that in a shape for you to be ready to go.
Thank goodness. We've been discussing this and texting back and forth what we needed to do because there was a little lag in that process. But driving up here this morning, I think all of us saw they're pouring the sidewalks down there. So it'll be nice, fresh, hardened concrete.
Hardened concrete. There you go.
They gave us a little scare, but you got to give credit to the city for getting that done for us. And two, again, bringing in folks from other local communities. You want the area to look great.
Look as good as possible. And so, guys, all I can say is thank you for all the hard work you do. I know you're not the only two. There's
there's a lot of people.
There's Hope sitting over there. She wouldn't come up on stage today, but she's the backbone of a lot that goes on.
But she did bring this great T-shirt that we'll be selling, and so we did want to plug these shirts.
There you go.
We've locally designed and locally printed shirts, so make sure you grab one of those when you come out.
Great. That's great. 41A Festival this weekend. Be there or be square. We'll be right back. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel that the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Welcome back here. It's always a pleasure to be here and, of course, to bring someone from Shelbyville and Bedford County. She's retired Shelbyville Parks and Recreation Director, and she's even more busy now, I think, as a retired person.
Yes.
Sylvia Pinson joins us on this segment. I want to say welcome back.
Thank you.
And, of course, as we were texting and getting this together, it's always that I say, you have an open spot here at Living.
Yeah,
so
well, thank you.
Why
Thank
just
you.
jump in here? Just come on.
Well, you know, one of those events that you always start, and being a community connector, that's my middle name.
Connector, I like that.
Connector.
I like that. Yeah.
Because usually somebody will call, what do you think about this? Usually I have a solution for every
There you go.
person that's starting something new.
There you
because
go. Yeah.
My whole being is about connecting the community, because Shelbyville, Bedford County is a wonderful place.
Right. Exactly. And you know, it's here again. It's Art in the Park.
again.
And of course,
Yes.
You're in the center of that as well. It goes well each and every year. Which annual?
This is the fourth.
The fourth. All right.
Every
Number
year
4.
gets harder and harder. Each year we have an artist. This
Yeah.
is a local artist.
Very nice.
It's the Arts in the Park on the historical square of Shelbyville.
Yep.
Runs from 10 to 5. We have children's area. We have main stage. We have many partners. This is a jeweled art show exhibit, so if you're participating, we'll need to see what kind of art you're doing. But this poster this time is a artist of a local artist, and she was involved in a 14-hour stay in Colorado. This is Colorado, it's a ship, and she writes and paints the story of why she was tied up in an airport.
That's great.
And
It's
this is
really
for
interesting.
sailing. Yes.
Yeah.
So these different posters should be ready for sale.
Okay.
And this will hit our market.
Okay.
So,
very good.
But anyway.
You mentioned the fact that it gets harder and harder every year. That's because you're trying to top the previous year, I'm sure.
Correct.
So, what can we expect so spectacular?
Well, let me tell you, there is this wonderful lady, Katie O'Grady. She does puppetry, and she's a songwriter and a guitar. So I had called and she had called. So we always did the children area. This year, she has put together Crankies. Now, I had to look up what Crankies, if they're a scroll where you have music and song. Well, she has come up with several different Crankies during this for the children in our community. Also, another our partner that joined us last year is the First Methodist Church up on the square of Shelbyville. Their heart was to open the doors and help us and bring the children in for this event. Last year, the the Redeemer Church, the Episcopal, and our minister blessed all of the animals because it's the pet blessing of St. Francis Day.
Very interesting.
And if you can't bring your pet at 10 o'clock on October the 3rd, then if you have a picture of your pet on your cell phone, they will bless it. It was a big event, and this year they are joining with us to bless the animals.
Okay.
Now, somebody asked, whatever, as long as it's caged and big or whatever, they will bless it.
Exactly.
So that's, by having that partner, it brings on a new dimension.
It does. It really does.
To our community.
Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go. Plenty of arts. Plenty of concessions. And we have a main stage that I have always tried to, on a main stage, highlight all our local. Yvonne
We've got very talented
Christian, McChristian is her soul dancers. They're all seniors. You know, the soul train of the Bedford County ladies.
But if you know this lady, she moves like a 20-year-old.
Oh, gosh. She was a senior athlete, and she can keep going. So we have them dancing. They're so excited to start our show.
Very good.
And then we've gone to Wardrose to bring in the Smith Theater, Miss April Smith. She'll be on stage. And Dancy's, the little girls. But this year we're bringing on a couple of their main dances. One is Thriller with costume. That's supposed to be outstanding. We're bringing Logan Blade back from Culleoke. He is our autistic child that cannot verbally speak to us, but once you put a microphone in his hand, he sounds like all of the country music stars. So we've got him back. And then our own young man, the voice and the vision.
Tyrell and Julius.
And Julius, and they'll be doing a painting as well as the spoken word. And Gillian Lefevre, she is a local and coming up. And then I finally found Jawan Vansawala, bowing dancer. He's bringing some of his friends, I believe, out of Nashville. He hits the stage about 1:30. They do all of the dancing. I wanted him last year, couldn't find him. Immediately after the event last year, he was in Kroger's working.
Oh, there you go.
So this time I went to get new windshield wipers at one of the local business. There he was. So I've got him.
Very good.
And so just bands and
so it's a day of just all kinds of things going on.
10 to 5.
10 to 5 on October 3rd. And information can be found, phone numbers.
Phone numbers 931-580-9696. That's the lady. That's me.
Oh my goodness. Well, you are a connector, and Bedford County is really blessed to have you. Every community needs a Sylvia Pinson because, you know, to call someone up and just say, you know, I need help here, I need help there. So it's great.
Yes, and I appreciate it. I don't think I'll ever retire.
Oh no, please don't. Okay, it's Art in the Park, October 3rd. The pet blessing is October 4th, so keep that in mind.
No, October 3rd.
October 3rd as well. Okay. And then if you can't,
October 3rd at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Another edition. We've got more of Living coming up. Stay with us.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the sun came up twice today. Isn't that great? I love it when that happens, a good sunshiny day. I'm here right now with Greg Steverson, and he is with Life Care Center. He is the rehabilitation director for Life Care Center. And I know as I'm getting 65 years old, 66 years old, sometimes I'm not as firm in my walking as I used to be, right. and I worry a little bit going up and down steps and things like that about falling, because I don't think I bounce as good as I used to when I was young. And I know that's something that y'all have to deal with a lot, and I think that's one of the things that you'd like to talk a little bit about today.
Sure.
Is falls.
Yeah, I would. Life Care Centers of America, we've got a presence in Tullahoma. Of course, we've been here for over 40 years. Right there by the hospital. And it's always been an issue with our older friends, with our parents and grandparents and neighbors when they start getting older. As I am getting older, we start falling and losing our balance, and different things happen. So we have had to learn over the years how we can address those challenges to help keep our community safe, and also to help keep our residents at Life Care safe.
Okay, so someone is getting a little unsteady, and I know a lot of people probably don't want to admit that, well, wait a minute, I'm not moving quite as good as I used to. What are some of the things that can be done in a household, in your facility, to make it to where people don't have that opportunity to fall?
Yeah. Well, one thing you think about is what the need is that causes the fall. That's one thing we try to do, is always consider what that need is, what the unmet need is that caused the fall, whether it's bad vision, whether it is the environment. Sometimes it's a rug that's in the way, or it's a doorway that's too narrow at a home, some steps that need a handrail next to it. Right. When you used to go down those steps a lot quicker, like you said. In our facility, sometimes it's our older friends that they might be less active than they used to be, and so it might be as simple as us engaging them in activities that are important to them. Right. And at Life Care, we've got an activities department that gets started in the morning, and they work all night trying to keep our residents engaged in things that are important. Up and moving around. That's right. And getting things done.
And sometimes it might just be as simple as someone might not want it, but they might need to use a cane.
That's right. That's right. So our therapy department, especially our physical therapists, are trained especially to assess gait and to assess whether there might be some kind of adaptive equipment that's needed to help, whether it's a cane or a walker sometimes. Sometimes our occupational therapists, just work to train people that they need to take rest more often than they used to. At Life Care, in fact, we have a vestibular trained certified therapist, and what that means is the vestibular system is the balance system. And so as we get older, sometimes our balance system needs a little adjustment. And so our vestibular trained therapist over there is trained to help with that. We've got some equipment. The Biodex Balance is a piece of equipment that we can use to help assess weaknesses. Sometimes it's as simple as leg weakness or ankle weakness, and we need to do some exercises.
Right. Well, and like I said, we don't bounce, the older we get, we don't bounce quite as well as we did. And, you see a lot of broken hips, and, a fall can be devastating.
It can.
In what it can do to the physical side of your being. And then as we age, we don't get over that stuff quite as easily.
That's right.
So prevention, as in most things, is always the best thing to have.
That's right, and what you mentioned is really important. Sometimes when we have a fall, there's a fear that follows that fall that then keeps us from being as involved in life as we used to be. And then it's kind of a cycle of inactivity that then might lead to more falls. And then the cycle continues. So a lot of it is education.
Yes.
One thing that we always want to do, whether it's a resident who lives in-house at Life Care Center of Tullahoma, or whether it's an outpatient who comes in and sees us for balance and then goes back home, back out into the community. One thing that's very important for us, for nursing, for therapists, for everyone, is to make sure we educate the caregiver, whether it's the certified nurse assistant at the facility, or whether it's the wife or husband at home, or the child, to teach them what we learned during our treatment time as therapists, and to teach them maybe sometimes how to continue doing some exercises that can keep them strong.
Okay, I'm going to ask that there's never a dumb question. If someone sees this and they think, okay, maybe mom or dad or maybe the person themselves needs to be checked out and wants some assistance, without being a patient of Life Care or without a doctor telling them to come there or forcing them to come there, can someone just walk into Life Care and have a discussion and say, look, I saw Greg on television and I think I need some therapy, some help? Can someone just walk in and get that type of help at Life Care?
The quick answer is yes. The best answer is talk to your doctor. An easy answer is we're having a health fair at Life Care Center of Tullahoma, October the 22nd. And one thing we do, I mentioned earlier, the Biodex Balance. Our rehab department will be set up with that piece of equipment. It's very easy for someone in the community to come to the health fair to find our rehab department table. And to get a quick and easy assessment. The Biodex Balance would give them some input as to whether they might have some issues. And then we can actually print that out and give it to them, and they can take it to their doctor and get a prescription for some outpatient.
Very good. Greg, Life Care Center.
Yes, sir.
The 22nd. Go to that health fair and find out all you need to know about Life Care and yourself. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to let this fine gentleman in this good-looking bow tie help close this show out with me today. And Greg, wave them goodbye, man. We'll see you next time. And don't forget Life Care for all your needs. Bye, folks.